Hi everyone, my name is Amity and this is Read by Amity, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about big books that I started in 2025 or beyond that I don't want to take with me into 2027. So there are 7 books on the list. I've got them all here next to me and we're going to go through each one. So let's just begin. So the first book on the list is a epic fantasy, and it is very well loved within the booktube community and also just the reading community in general. It's been recommended and unrecommended to me many times in the past. I do own the entire series because I thought that if I decided that I wanted to read it and I really wanted to commit to it, that I would just get the entire series. And that one is The Eye of the World, book 1 of the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. This is the mass market paperback with I want to say it's the original cover potentially. I'm not sure. I only found out about this series in, I want to say 2013. No, sorry, 2015. And it was published in 1990. So it's a fantasy heavyweight in the genre, obviously. This edition is 814 pages long. It is quite a chunky one. You can see up in the corner of the frame there, I do also have the books in that mass market edition. This is the only one I have in this edition. The rest of the series I've collected in the edition you see there because I've gotten them all secondhand, but I do like having this cover of this edition, so I will keep that. So yes, this one, I've only ever read up to chapter 3. I haven't gotten beyond that before. So yeah, The Peddler. So this is the year that I'm going to push myself to do it. And I'm pretty sure, give me one moment, let me just double check before I give you the wrong information. 1 second.
Hi besties, what's up? My name is Makenzie and welcome to my channel and welcome to another day of Bookmas. I'm nervous about this. I'm so relieved.
Okay, yes. So Makenzie from Books with Makenzie is also going to attempt to read, I think, The Wheel of Time. Her husband picked The Great War, whatever the great, I feel like it's The Great War. Let's see if it's in here. The Great Hunt. Her husband picked The Great Hunt for her in her 26 books in 2026, but I don't think she's actually read The Eye of the World. So there's a chance that she also is tackling this book this year, but I definitely will be tackling this book this year. Moving on. Should we go back and forth? Yeah, may as well. The next book that I am picking up this year and finishing this year is Middlemarch by George Eliot. This one is a chunky book, but I really want to read George Eliot's magnum opus, I think is what they refer to this as. Let's have a look. This one was first published in 1871, and this edition was published in 1994, and this reprint of this edition was published in 2003. So this was something that I was meant to be reading, I feel like it was either March this year just gone or it must have been the year before. I think it was 2023, but yes, I read this one in 2024. Emmy from Emmy Reads hosts sorry, I said read. I was meant to read this one in 2024, and that is because Emmy from Emmy Reads hosts a year-long readathon called Game of Tomes, and there's four, yeah, because I think it's seasonal. There's 4 large tomes that are selected for the book club each year, and I'm pretty sure that this was meant to be finished in 2024, along with another one on the list. And I didn't get around to it. And then I pushed myself saying that I was going to finish it in 2025, and I didn't even pick it up. I didn't even attempt to. So this year, I'm going to completely finish Middlemarch and hopefully annotate, because one thing with the classics is they are a fantastic book genre to annotate. You can get so much from them. This one, I didn't even get past the prelude because I decided that I wanted to annotate it, and I didn't end up doing that. So I didn't continue with it. But yes, that is book number 2 on the list. Then we'll go back over to the other pile. So we have another fantasy, and that is book number 3 on the list, which is City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards. This one I listened to on audio up to almost the 20% mark. Maybe a little bit further, actually, now that I'm reading this. But it didn't hook me because it is a long fantasy. I want to say it's a romantasy, a dark romantasy, possibly. This one didn't hook me at all, and I know that I will love it. So I've picked it up physically, and I'm going to try it again physically. So this one is definitely not going to go into 2027 with me, and I'm very much looking forward to it. And I really hope that I like it because I love these editions. I love the way all of the spines look together, and I would love to have these on my bookshelf. So fingers crossed that I love this. Also, the detail on the covers, incredible, incredible. I'm going to miss the days when people design covers and it's not just all AI covers. Anyway, moving along, we're going back to the classics pile, and the next one I haven't really started either. I think that I've read more about this book than I have read the actual book, and that is The Brothers Karamazov. Karamazov? The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoyevsky. This one is heralded as like one of the best classics, one of the best books that you could ever read. And I do collect Dostoyevsky's work. I've read a few of his shorter ones. I have Notes from Underground on my 26 and 2026. This is also one that I want to read this year. I just didn't want to put it on my 26 and 2026 because that's about priority books that are also easy wins that I know that I'm definitely going to prioritize because we love smashing goals and I'm not about to make goals harder than they already are. So the Brothers Karamazov is still going to be a goal for me, just not necessarily one at the forefront of my mind. And this one is 718 pages. I don't know if this is a like great edition to read. I don't know if the translation is bad or preferred in this edition. I just picked this one up from the Lifeline Book Fair because it was secondhand and it was $4. So if there's a better edition, a better translation of this to read, let me know because I will look into it. Okay, then we're going to do another classic because I have one more fantasy and then one more classic after that. So the next classic is smaller than the others, but still a beast. And that one is John Steinbeck's East of Eden. This was definitely one in Emmy's Game of Tomes readathon last year. I got 115 pages into it and was loving it. Again, I stopped because I wanted to annotate. But last year was a hectic year and I barely did any annotating whatsoever. In fact, I'm just trying to think about what book, if any, did I annotate? Oh, I annotated the Empire of the Vampire, Empire of the Damned, and I started annotating Empire of the Dawn, which now I'm going to do a reread and fully annotate because now that I've read the full story, I can I can annotate without feeling like I have to hurry up and get to the next page. So those are the only 3 books, and Blue Sisters. Those are the only 4 books that I annotated last year out of the 148 that I read. So this year is about slowing down and taking my time with books and really like enjoying and thinking about what I'm reading. So it's going to be the year to annotate East of Eden and finish it. This one is, what are we looking at here? Page count. Come on. 601 pages. So it's thinner, but still a lot of pages. All right. Now, second last on the list is kind of cheating because it's kind of not actually a big book, but the edition I have makes it a big book. And that is the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy volume edition, one volume edition with the appendices by J.R.R. Tolkien. And she's a chunky one. This one has like Bible paper, this edition. I do have the regular mass market paperback editions of all 3 books plus The Hobbit and The Silmarillion, but this was the edition that I bought when I was going to be participating in the Game of Tomes readathon in 2024, and I didn't end up getting to it. Then we went to New Zealand at the end of 2024, and it's the first time I've ever been there in person, and we watched the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, and we visited some of the filming locations, and we didn't go to Hobbiton, because we didn't go to North Island at all. We were only on the South Island, but still, I very much enjoyed it. So this was meant to be a priority for me, but I sound like a broken record because last year was hectic and I didn't get to it. So this edition, did I already say that? 1,175 pages long. So I don't know how long this is going to take me to read, but I want to at least get through the first 2, if not all 3, and then potentially the appendices as well, whatever they happen to hold. So that's it for fantasy, but we have one last classic ready to go. And this is probably the one that I'm most excited for. This is the one that I've gotten the furthest through and have annotated and tabbed up the most. I have a bunch of sticky notes in here from when I was supposed to be reading each chapter, because once again, this was part of Emmy's Game of Tomes readathon, book club, whatever we want to call it. And that one is The Count of Monte Cristo. Count of Christmas Hampers. No, The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. And this one is massive. 1,264 pages, it looks like. But I'm 300 pages in. 279 pages in. And I was having a blast with it. I had so many things to say about it when I was reading it and annotating. So I'm very much looking forward to getting back into this one. I'm thinking that it's going to be one that I'm going to parcel out amongst the year because I've already got it segmented into parts. And I really want to take my time with it. I want to take my time with every book that I read this year. But there are other books that I can read whilst also reading this one. So those are the 6 books. 6? 7. Those are the 7 books. Did I introduce this video saying 6? I don't remember. But nonetheless, those are the 7 books. Nonetheless, those are the 7 big books that I don't want to take into 2027 with me. So in 2026, I will be finishing all 7 of them. And I don't care what it takes, I'm going to be doing it. If you know that any of these classics have a translation that is more preferred, then please let me know, because I don't want to inhibit my enjoyment of the book by reading a translation that is generally known as bad. These are just the editions that I happen to get my hands on. Most of the classics that I get are secondhand from book fairs and op shops and whatnot. So it's just kind of whatever's there is what I'm reading. The fantasies, I feel like there's only really one edition. There's only really one version of the story, unless one's an indie and the other's a traditionally published version, but I'm happy to continue reading the editions that I do have. So let me know if you are planning on reading any of these books, or if you have already, which ones did you enjoy, which ones did you not enjoy, and I will see you next time with a new video. Bye.